everybody, and welcome to another episode of Fire Up. I hope we're all fired up tonight. I got a full house. I'm loving it. How are you guys tonight?
Woo!
Exhausted.
Quote the nature boy.
I'm exhausted. People got their tax return and are just buying a lot of stuff.
I bet.
Well, I got
working for FedEx, it's got to be rough.
Right. If FedEx and UPS joined, they'd be fed up.
Right.
I got you. Well, they first are coming to the bank to get all the money that they need to. So, yeah, I can tell you, big returns, lots of busy time of year. Yes. Oh, good evening, Mr. Michael.
Hey, it's MDE. How you doing, brother?
Well, guys, the World Baseball Classic, the USA gets in by the skin of their teeth with help because Italy took down Mexico. Let's talk World Baseball Classic. What you got?
Well, I can't even remember the guy's name, but 3 bombs to seal the deal for Italy? Wow. And what's funny is his family is from Italy, and he immigrated to America to play baseball in America. And he says, "You're welcome, America." That's all he said in his interview.
Are you talking about Vinny Pasquantani?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
from the Royals, first baseman.
Is that why you didn't want to remember him? Because he's a Royal?
No, I just don't remember names. I'm sorry. I'm old.
Because there's 2 Royal. There's another Royal, too, that plays for Italy on that team.
Well, and let's thank Aaron Nola, who tossed 5 shutout innings for Italy to, take that over Mexico. So we can't forget that. Samir, your thoughts?
Yeah, I missed that game, but I heard it was pretty good. I did see a lot of the Team USA Italy game, and I guess Mark DeRosa came under a lot of fire. I guess I guess he missed was it a base running error at the end, or what was it that cost?
Mark DeRosa had no clue what was going on. They didn't really try in that game because they thought they already clinched a pool berth. So they didn't really try.
Yeah.
And then they found out that Italy had to win for them to get in.
Well, once Italy hit 5 runs, I knew we were in automatically.
Right.
Because Mexico had to score 6 to win, and 6 runs was too much. As weird as this system is, that's what it was. So as soon as Italy hit 7 runs or 5 runs, I was like, okay, USA is in, just based on run differential.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. And who do they play next? Does anybody know?
They play Saturday.
Canada, or Team USA. They play Canada, and I think
we're talking about the WBC there, CPS or CP Sports Cards.
Yeah, the World Baseball Classic, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I saw somewhere that they played Canada.
I think
I think they play them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, they played Saturday for the first game.
No, we're talking about the World Baseball Classic.
A lot of people don't even know what's going on, guys.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? CPS Sports Cards, before this show, we had a really good soccer show, and we talked about the soccer portion of the Olympics. So if you get a chance to check out Sports Wrap prior to this show, that'd be a great episode. I had a great conversation with Dave Bradley, a really big-time soccer guy. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, CPS Sports Cards, then please do so. But we had a really good show that lasted close to an hour and a half. That's why I pushed the starting time of this a little bit back. But the crew that we had, myself, Dave Bradley, and, of course, Cody Spink and Mike Santos, and, of course, Earl Kinsey was in the chat room doing awesome stuff. We talked about soccer in the Olympics, and you'll get a lot out of it for sure. It's a great sport. So yeah, there's your Olympic coverage, at least for tonight. I'll have other Olympic coverage on other shows as well. But sorry to interrupt y'all. I just want to make sure we address his question in the chat.
Right.
So the quarterfinals starts tomorrow. Korea takes on Dominican Republic at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and United States takes on Canada at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Go.
And Saturday is Puerto Rico versus Italy and Venezuela versus Japan.
Go O'Neal Cruz. He's on fire. He's batting like 565 or something.
And then Sunday, the quarterfinal winners from two of them will be in the semifinals, obviously. So USA was the favorites going in. I'm not so sure they are now, but you never know.
No, now they're woke up.
Yinzer.
Good evening, Earl. It's good to have you here. Any other thoughts about the World Baseball Classic? Anything you liked, you didn't like?
I know Ronald Acuna is hitting like 308, though, like 114 OPS.
You know what, Michael Edwards, that's a great comment. I want that one posted up here. I want to talk about this on my own for a moment. I'll turn over the rest of y'all. What an irony of Canada beating USA in the WBC after the Olympic. That's a loaded one. Great stuff. You get a big time kudos for that one. I don't think it will happen, but you never know. That would be enough. Don't kid yourself. I think it's very possible that the U.S. lost to Italy to get their humble pie. I think it's time for them to wake up and realize that losing to Canada would be an outright embarrassment, considering the superiority of their players versus Canada. So, Michael Edwards, you don't think it will happen? I don't come on this show too often, and I like to come on more if I had my time did, but I hope I hope it does happen and you feel good about the result tomorrow, Michael Edwards. Thanks for putting that in there. That's a great comment.
Yeah, because he's absolutely right, because baseball is America's pastime as much in Canada as their hockey is their pastime.
No question about it.
So if that happened, that would be very, very ironic, especially since, the Leafs haven't won a championship since 1963.
Let me answer
his other. I'm sorry, Candy.
1992, they won the Stanley. Or 93, they won the Stanley Cup.
Which one is it that hasn't won it since 1963? Is that the Canadians?
The Maple Leafs, I think.
Yeah, the Canadians. The Canadians won in 92. They beat Gretzky or 93. They beat
the Maple Leafs. I was talking about the Maple Leafs. They haven't won it since 63.
It's been a long time.
All right, so let me address CPS again in the chat room. This guy, I like this guy. I gravitate to this guy really quick. Here's what I suggest you do, CPS Sports Cards. Monday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Candy. Join us for 108 Stitches Baseball Talk. I host a show. I have two former major leaguers. I have Barry Foote, who's a longtime friend of mine, and 1980 world champion Warren Brewstar on that show, as well as a couple of other people. We have a great show that night. Please tune in, CPS Sports Cards. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, again, please do so. I don't know, but it's good to see you in here. On Monday night, we have 108 Stitches Baseball Talk, and we talk baseball. And I'll have sound bites as well from spring training as well. And I guarantee when we get done with you watching that show, CPS Sports Cards, you'll definitely get into it much quicker because I have the horses in there that will enable you to do exactly that. So I don't know where this guy coming from. I already like him.
And this other guy down here that's right below Scott started his own baseball show on Saturday nights. So if you wanted to check it out, 9 p.m. Saturdays, I have my MLB Baseball Roundtable Talks, where I got Adam, his partner, Big Rich from Driving to the Top Productions, and Boston Paul. By the name, he's a Red Sox fan.
I'll keep in mind, too, that in April, I'm looking forward to bringing Talking Baseball back at around 9 o'clock a.m. Right now, I'm so busy with spring training that I obviously have to take advantage of my opportunities to get quality interviews. And just to get everybody a little bit of a note on it, I'm sorry to take you off your game a little bit, Can. But over the weekend, I had the opportunity to interview Josh Hader, former Brewer. I have a one-on-one interview with him. I got Cody Clemens, the former Tiger, Philly, and I got a one-on-one with him, and Eric Wagaman, and I'm looking to get more things done. So maybe if I get the itch to come on next Thursday and I'm feeling okay, I'll give you more updates about what we accomplished. I've had Don Mattingly in the past on the Motor City Mad Mouse show, and Don and I have been friends for a long, long, long time. So, good for you, Jeremy, that you finally got out of your comfort zone and started to work with baseball. More power to you.
Well, and as of the playoffs, I will add an NBA and a hockey show.
There you go. I trained you. You better start adding these shows, pal. You're my pupil, and you're in the book, Lessons from the Microphone. So now I expect you to own up to that.
Try doing the best I can.
Well, you're doing fine. As I said, I expect you to own up to that. You're a one-trick pony. You're a one-trick pony with football, but now you're doing it all. Good for you. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ed. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. I was just saying I talk baseball on Monday nights too.
Oh, cool. All right, very good.
So bringing it back to the World Baseball Classic, Canada is 3-1, USA is 3-1. Canada's only loss was to Panama, whose only win was against Canada. So it'll be interesting. Canada was in Pool A. United States was in Pool B. So that's where they're going against each other. So, yes, it'll be interesting. That matchup is on Fox. And I think all the quarterfinals are being played at Lone Depot down in Miami, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure I thought that was what was going to happen. So, but yeah.
2006, Canada did beat us in the pool game, 8-6.
Oh, your spelling is fine, CP Sports Cards. I would start with the MLB because a lot of the announcers are really good on doing the baseball 101 while you're watching it. A lot better than what you hear out of college. College, a lot more of the analytics side than the baseball 101. So I would suggest start watching the MLB, whatever your local team is that's by you. That would be who I would start watching some of their games.
Yeah, what is your local team there, buddy?
Yeah, where are you from, CP Sports Cards?
You're 11 years old. That's amazing that you're a young fan. We love it.
Yep. And Adam,
I don't even have half of my stuff out, but I greatly appreciate it.
I know
I got my Skeens jersey back there with the All-Star jersey, and that's Heinz Ward over that shoulder.
Professional team, Major League Baseball. If you watch your high school team, you could actually talk to the coaches and players when they're not on the field, and they would love to explain baseball to you. At 11 years old, you're about the right time to get into little leagues.
And CP Sports Cards, I think what we were asking is where do you live? What's your local MLB team? Do you live in Pittsburgh? Do you live in Miami? Do you live Detroit?
Michigan.
Whereabouts? So we have a kind of a estimate of what team might be your team to watch. There we go, Scott.
No kidding, the Twins, huh?
Minnesota Twins. So he's in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area.
That's a good choice. I'll get into that later. Stay out of the show. Do you still do that My Town in here, Candy?
I do. CP Sports Card.
I'll incorporate some more hay into the My Town segment.
I want to see their new stadium. I know it's not new anymore, but I still want to see it. Sorry, Candy, I interrupted you. Actually, we started off at the same time, so I just kept going.
It's okay, no problem. No problem.
So the Twins, are they still in Rochester with their Double A team?
Yeah, isn't that the Rochester Red Wings?
Redbirds or Red Wings, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yep, I think it is the Red Wings.
I don't know. And I know Jeremy's a Detroit fan. I'm a Guardians fan. Scott, obviously, you're a Twins fan then, Scott?
No, well, not necessarily. But I got to tell you, I'm a Twins follower now because that's the way they treat me in spring training. I get carte blanche with those people, man. I'm just telling you. It's good
Sports
stuff.
Card, I was talking about their minor league team. Their minor league team is in Rochester, New York.
I thought they had a team in Rochester, Minnesota.
No, it's Rochester, New York.
Really?
Yeah.
They also have a single A affiliate up there in Minnesota as well. I believe they're called the Timber Rattlers.
Yeah, that's interesting. You would think the AAA affiliate would be in Minnesota.
No, the
No.
Double A, isn't that what it is? Or the
It's in
Rochester one is-
Rochester.
yeah.
The Rays, K Rays.
I mean,
yeah.
my lifetime association is always with the Detroit Tigers, and I know a lot of people with them. But keep in mind, I move around a lot. I've worked with a lot of different teams through the years, like the Dodgers, and I've worked with the Marlins as well. So I've gotten around a bit.
So CBE Sports Cards, we were at spring training this last weekend. We actually went and saw the Phillies play the Twins. So we did get to see them. Scott interviewed.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
can tell I'm a Tigers fan, but there's my baseball logo.
Oh.
All right. Well, while you're calling up the logo, Candy, so it is the St. Paul Saints in AAA, the Wichita Wild Surge in AA, and then the Cedar Rapids and Colonels for High A. So they don't have the Rochester team anymore.
Oh, they did years ago. That shows you
Yeah.
how much older I am of all you guys. I remember years ago they did. And in fact, I'll never forget the time when I had throat surgery at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
So that is my new network. It's the KCB Sports Network. As you can see, I got Pistons for the Pistons. I got Red Wings on each side of the shield for the Red Wings, and the Lions and Tigers in the middle. I am a
Yeah.
100% Detroit homer. Thank you, Adam, for the logo.
Yeah, I like that logo. Ballrick, you've come a long way. Now I know Adams does good logos as well. That's pretty good work, Adam. Good for you, man.
It
Is
took
that Adobe or
Gemini.
Gemini?
Nano Banana is the
yeah,
program
it
that
was,
they
it
use.
was a banana one, but
So-
yeah, that took a little bit of we went through what, about 9 logos that night, Jerm?
About 5 actually, but yeah. all like 10 minutes after the show, we were sitting there talking. He goes, "What about this one? That's close."
So CB Sports Cards wants to know who all of our favorite baseball teams are.
Mine is the Detroit Tigers. Being a part of watching that team in the regular season in the '84
He's got
year,
a Georgia Tech hat on. What team do you think it would be?
that's the Braves guy up there.
Atlanta. Jeez, I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, the Atlanta Braves. Yeah.
Samir, I was
Well,
gonna
I've
say
always
that.
been partial. I've always been partial toward the Tigers.
Okay, Adam.
So I have a camp in Ashtabula. So I've been a Guardian, or I was an Indians fan first. Naturally Pittsburgh, but I have a Guardians in summer because that's my AL team, and then the Pirates in the Central for the NL team.
Well, let me tell you, I got a little story about the Cleveland. Many years ago, when I was working in Gastonia, I had a baseball job. Adam, I had an opportunity to hang out with Bob Feller for a few days, and he gave me he actually gave me an autographed picture, signed and everything. We got to know each other well. He took me on as a friend. Those are some good memories.
So on Monday nights, I have Mark Trumba is going to be coming back on too. He was the PA announcer during the World Series years, from '95 to '97 for the Indians.
What time does your baseball show run on Monday night?
I usually do 9.
Oh, dear. Okay. Well, if you ever want me to come on, if you ever want me to come on for a segment or so after 9:15, give me a shout. I'll be more than happy to come on for you.
Cool. Yeah.
I'll give you some stuff that I'm sure you'll enjoy listening to. I have a lot of stories about the game.
So, have you been able to get to Lakeland to see any of the Tigers?
You know what, Jeremy? It has not worked into my schedule yet. I'm trying, but I haven't yet. I want to this year, but when I could have a lot of ties out to that area, I haven't done it. Let me tell you what last week's, if we have time to give everybody a little idea what took place last week, okay? And that's this. Apply for the Phillies game. Initially got turned down, okay? But my request was Mattingly. The guy goes down there, talks to Don. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to do with him. So he takes that denial and turns it to being approved. Great, but here's the kicker. By the time he did that, I applied for the Astros and the Marlins, and now I'm approved for 2 games in one day. So
Yeah, physically impossible.
well,
How far apart are they?
yes
That's
and no. So what
How
I
far
did is
apart?
I got the PR guy's cell phone number, and I rescheduled for this Sunday in Clearwater, and I was able to get to the Astros Marlins game, and then I decided to go to Fort Myers to take on the Twins, and I had my Friday and Saturday filled up.
Nice.
And now I'm working on this weekend's agenda. When I return next week or so, I'll be more than happy to go. I'm committing. Here I am for next week, but that's okay. It's after hockey. But yeah, I'll give you an update about the trails of the Motor City Madmouth and Candy over the spring training week.
Yeah,
So one of the things-
the only reason why I asked, I wanted just to know if you had been able to watch any of that Kevin McGonigal this year.
You know
tearing it
what,
up.
Jeremy? I have heard so many good things about this guy. I really have. And I'd like to, and I'm hoping I can at some point, but I haven't been able to yet. I'll have to see how things play out. If I can get to a Tigers game, that's my priority. If I don't, my plan is to go to take Candy to Tropicana Field. We'll see him in June for 3 games out there.
Nice.
Go
Are they
ahead,
playing in
Candy.
Tropicana this year?
Yes,
Yeah, they finally got it
finished
rebuilt.
So
Yeah.
let's not leave out the Reds, Michael. The Reds have revamped very well. Terry Francona has turned this team around to Ella De La Cruz. Their pitching staff, they got 4 solid pitchers on that roster. I know we have 3, but watch out for the Reds too. Don't leave them out of it. And the Cubs, they're just always there. Unfortunately, Candy, your team, I don't have much hope in your team.
Milwaukee?
That division.
That's okay. So I always do. So Earl, my team is Milwaukee Brewers. They spend not the greatest, but they've been in the playoffs. I don't know what, 8 of the last 9 years or so. We have normally one of the youngest teams around. One thing I will say is Scott and I a couple years ago were doing a spring training tour. So we went to Arizona, and we've actually been in all of the parks over in Arizona. So now we live in Florida, but the parks are not as close as they are in Arizona. In Arizona, they're about an hour and a half between all of the different parks. So
you went to Glendale?
I'm sorry?
You were in Glendale then? I went to Glendale where the Guardians, or they were the Indians then, did their training.
Right.
That's good. That's Goodyear.
Goodyear now. Yeah.
That's where Cleveland and Cincinnati had them actually playing Goodyear. Not far. Everything slows in. Let me tell you another story. Many years ago, I covered the Reds.
Wait, aren't they in Glendale, Arizona?
No. You have the White Sox and the Dodgers in Glendale, and you have Goodyear. Now, let me tell you a story about the Reds.
That's right.
Years ago, when I was covering the Reds single A team, the Tampa Tarpons, I would do other little side work for the Reds. I worked for a company called Reds View Magazine, and I used to contribute to the major league team, covered fantasy, and I was recommended to them by one of my editors at the Tampa Tribune, and I got some pretty good stuff there. I really did. I was doing fantasy stuff, and anything that came to Florida, it was mine, and I seized it. That was one of my favorite freelance jobs ever. Reds View Magazine in Cincinnati, and then I ended up going to some games over at Riverfront Stadium against the Dodgers when I was moving back to Detroit. So I have a good history with the Reds.
Rob Dibble days.
Yeah, well, did you know that they have a
Eric Concepcion, Eric Davis?
No, I actually work with Joe Oliver.
Oh, you're back then. Okay.
Well, yeah, of course. I got the age on you. Come on, really? I mean, come on.
I was all right. So I was about what 6, 8 years off. I'm not saying 6, 7. I can't do it. Sorry.
Well, the guy I worked with as a manager, his name was Mark Bombard. Google him up a little bit, and he was our manager then. And I'll never. And now they actually have a Class A team at the Florida State League, the Daytona Tortugas, and then they're doing pretty well at Jackie Robinson Ballpark.
That's a pretty cool ballpark. I have.
Lenny Harris is actually the hitting coach up there, and I actually worked with him back in the day too. Lenny and I.
Do you know they weren't supposed to put that back on Riverfront? They were going to leave it open.
If you're talking about the sports memorabilia, such as signed memorabilia, such as sports cards, helmets, and stuff like that, and jerseys, whatnot, or hitting a break on like Facebook in one of the many memorabilia clubs, pages, groups, whatever you want to call them, because that's where I got all of my stuff, except for my Lions truck there. I found that by accident. My girlfriend actually texted me the picture on a Facebook post. I was like, oh, wow. And they were only $25 a piece, and they're from 1994, so I bought 2 of them. One of them I haven't opened.
Sweet.
Awesome. Okay, have we exhausted the baseball realm for tonight? Should we switch over? There's been so much NFL frenzy, like the free agent, who's going where, who's not going where, what trade is happening, what trade didn't happen.
The trade that didn't happen that got rejected. There we go. That's what happened. So
let's talk about that.
That started Friday before free agency frenzy started.
We were live on the air for that.
Yeah, I was doing my Lion show. Adam was on as a guest, and 9:40 p.m. breaking news: the Ravens just traded 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby.
And then we were on my show, Jeremy, whenever it broke that it got canceled.
Yeah, we just went live, and I said, guys. And they were like, what? I said, did you see what just came across the feed?
Yeah.
I said, Max is going back to the Raiders. Everybody's like, what? They can't afford it. I was like, no, technically they could, because they had $116 million when they traded them. It would have created $27 more million in cap space after the dead cap and all that. But his contract never left the Raiders to begin with, because it doesn't go official till 4 p.m. on Wednesday when the new year begins fiscally. So that contract never got transferred to the Ravens. And then 10 minutes after that, it was 8:10, and Danielle Rossini says,
Diana Rossini.
Rav, are you happy they got Trey, though?
No, I'm going to get into that, because I'm going to give my opinion on that one for you.
Well, Rav's watching on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I know. So the next morning, the first thing we hear before Trey Hendrickson signed is 31 GMs are mad at EDC, the GM of the Ravens, because at 7:30 p.m. he got a call from Trey Hendrickson's agent. So all this is because of a failed physical, which, if you think about it, he just had surgery 6 weeks before the trade happened. Of course he failed the physical, because how can you pass a physical when you can't even do regular plays yet? So they used that as an excuse, as far as I'm concerned. They found out that they could get Trey for a little less money per year and get Trey Hendrickson and keep their draft picks. And I understand it business-wise, but that's dirty pool.
It is.
That's exactly what that is.
It is, because I was going to get into that, and I think it's shady, because I don't think I can recall the last time that you have seen a trade get agreed on and then a team just backs out. I was like, oh, no thanks.
I do. Same team, 2005. Ryan Grant was traded to the Ravens for a 2nd and a 4th round pick. And then they canceled it as soon as the Raiders released Michael Crabtree.
Wait, Ryan Grant, the running back?
The wide receiver.
Oh. But yeah, like, the thing is, it's bad optics, because my only thing with that is where does it stop? Because next thing you know, you could have teams agree on a deal, and the next day is like they get cold feet. It's like, oh well, no thanks. Like, and then number 2, I think EDC saw they lost Tyler Linderbaum, they lost Isaiah Likely, they paid the wrong tight end in my opinion. They should have paid him over Mark Andrews. They lost Draymond Jones. They lost a couple of their safeties. So they're thinking, we lost all these players and, we can't afford to. I don't know if I want to trade 2 first-round picks now for Max Crosby. You know, we're going to
Thank
say
you, CB Sports Cards.
and I am not saying that, this was or that the physical was done in a dishonest way,
Right.
but that could have been, they could have used that as a crutch to say, oh, well, he failed a physical. We're not going to go through with this trade. We'll pay Trey Hendrickson, and then we'll sign. I know they signed a couple. We'll go and sign Emory Jones and John Simpson.
Right. The only thing I got to say is the difference between Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. As a pass rusher, they're both about the same. As a run stuffer, Max Crosby is the better of the two, because there's a rule of thumb when you play Cincinnati. You want to take Trey Hendrickson out of the game, you run at him.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, it's within the confines of the rules technically, but I think teams are going to think twice now before they want to make deals with the Ravens.
I've already heard a bunch of pushback on them in social media about that, where GMs are saying they probably will never trade a player for picks with the Ravens again.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's a good point, Samir. Okay, you make a move like that. I understand that if you knew the player was hurt, didn't you feel that maybe you'd wonder whether or not he could pass the physical in the first place? But you pull the trigger on the move, right? Is what you do. Yeah. It's called. I dealt with this many years ago with the Detroit Pistons when Robert Horry was traded to the Pistons, and that deal got negated because of a physical issue. I don't remember the players. I think Robert Horry and I don't know. I'm sure Candy can dig it up, but I understand if you know a guy has been hurt and he got damaged goods, but you make the move, then that's one thing. But the Ravens guy definitely did not look good in this at all. And general managers are going to go out there and send them a message. You did them dirty. What are you going to do with us? So you're right. It's a bad look. Go ahead, Candy.
I just want to stop you guys for a second because CB Sports Card is going to be signing off here. Do any of us go live tomorrow? I know we don't. We have live programming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. We do not do Friday nights. Jeremy, you do Friday nights?
I do Friday nights, 9 p.m. I do my NFL show about the Lions. And I splash in, of course, NFL news, because when there isn't a lot of Lions news, you got to have filler to make it last an hour.
Right.
I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow night, Jerm, but I might be.
If you're up to it, just shoot me a text.
We'll be returning to live broadcasting on Saturday, probably in April, for a few weeks before we leave town, bringing back baseball at 9 o'clock. The football show is going to take a little bit of a break. Although we might do a draft show. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Time will tell. But the baseball show.
Go ahead. Sorry, Scott.
That's all right.
CBS Sports Cards. What I would recommend is that you subscribe to the 3 channels that we have here. South Florida Tribune's YouTube channel. Jeremy, what's your YouTube channel?
I'm typing it in so you can post it on the screen for them.
Adam, you too. And what you can do is
driving to the Top Productions. Look for the dog.
Turn on the notifications so then you're notified when any of those channels go live. And if you're available to catch any of us, we really appreciate it. We appreciate you being in the chat room tonight. And
absolutely. It's only 11. That's awesome, too.
That is Jeremy, exactly.
What does KCB stand for, Jeremy?
Kneecap Biting Sports Network. I still got to keep the kneecap biting in there.
Yeah, that's true. I like that. KCB, kneecap biting. All right.
And there used to be an old radio station out of Detroit called KCB on AM back in the day.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's smart that you actually changed that. You know, I mean, in case Dan were to decide to go somewhere else, at least KCB is still a viable alternative, so you don't have to rebrand
and
later.
It's still a link back to the Motor City.
Yeah, exactly. That's okay. One of the things I'll be doing going forward is promoting the Motor City Mad Mouse show a lot, too. I'll be doing that. We're doing some interesting things with that show as well. We're actually doing a non-sports topic from 8 to 9 with Steve Ballesteri. You know him real well. Him and I have taken on a new challenge.
KCB used to be the old Channel 9 before the BBC took it over and made it the CBC. I remember that. That was way back when we were kids.
Yeah.
And
So
I think he wanted you to put up the KCB Sports again so you can see it, because that only comes up on my channel side.
right. So yeah, we will. While I have an opportunity, I don't do this too often. Wednesday night's going to have a pretty interesting look. We're shortening the Sports Exchange to about an hour on 9 o'clock. I've got Steve and I, Ballesteri, who you've worked with before, Jeremy, and I are doing our own show, the Motor City Mad Mouse Show, from 8 to 9, which is all non-sports. Every once in a while, we'll put stuff in there. And I'm also bringing on a non-profit beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time that deals with horses and disabilities. That begins. So we got 7 to 8, 8 to 9, and then 9 to 10, 10, 10, or whatever. Back to back, I'll be doing 3 in a row. So
isn't that crazy, Michael? I knew exactly what channel you were talking about.
You're going to be exhausted, Scott.
Yeah, it's going to be busy for sure, Adam. But I'm trying to do a little bit of rebranding so that I can do a little bit of non-sports as well, because I feel like I've done everything I want to do in sports, and now I think it's time to go out there and be a gunslinger and try to do different things. And
you're not going politics style, are you?
Don't put that up.
No, I'm not doing hard politics. But yesterday, Steve and I did talk about North Korea a little bit. Wonder whether this Jong is a blowhard or whether he's legit. There's a difference between politics and just issues, right, Candy? Give everybody an overview of what we're trying to accomplish on that show.
Well, I think you and Steve want to talk about different things. You got Steve is a former military, and he writes for the military, and he writes for he used to write about the New England Patriots. So he's got a military background. So I think you just talk about a lot of different topics. You were talking about North Korea and some of those, not political wise, like you don't talk about the current president or what he's doing, but you talked about stuff about North Korea. So I thought it was a really good show. It's very different.
So more about current events than it was about current politics, correct?
Well, that's exactly what it is, Jeremy. Yeah. So repeat that again. I want everybody to hear this one time. Say it again.
More about current events than current politics.
Yes, that's what it is. It is about current events, not politics. I don't care about politics.
CBS Sports, did you log in with me too? Did you subscribe? Because I mean, we have shows nonstop. Mine's an actual full channel.
Yep.
So, yeah, Earl, this thing about horse racing is about horse racing. It's a nonprofit that deals with disability people through the utilization of horses. It's very different, and that'll actually start, Earl, at around 7 o'clock Eastern Time next Wednesday. I hope you can join us on that show. This young lady I'm working with, her name is Molly Murphy, and we work together simultaneously at the Chamber of Commerce. So it's one of the new things and wrinkles that I'm doing. Jeremy, I really appreciate the fact that you mentioned current events. I don't want current events to be skewed with politics, and I appreciate you clarifying that.
Yep. And it's funny you say that. I used to live in Combs Ferry, just outside of Lexington. I used to go to Lexington every other Friday to the Continental Inn for karaoke back in 1991.
Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that, man. I hope you subscribe to our channel. I want you to come on some of our shows if you get a chance and kind of chime in a little bit. I think it'd really be cool stuff. And you're right. I don't like to talk. It's not that I won't mention political figures, for example. Let me just give you a sample size of what I talked about yesterday about the Russians and all that. When we talk about the 1980 boycott of the Olympics, backfired when we got it boycotted in 84. Why do I know about that? I went to the 1984 Olympics is what I did, and the Russians weren't there. They in politics, we boycotted them, and they paid us back.
Right.
And who was in charge? Well, Jimmy Carter got it started, and then they decided to pay us back, and that was unfortunate. And again, the key thing that Jeremy just mentioned, it's about current events. we're not going to dive into. Are we going to mention political figures? Yeah, I mean, they're the ones making decisions, right? But it's more current events, not so much politics. Thanks for clarifying that, Jeremy.
Yeah. I remember when current events used to be taught in school, and it was not a political class at all. All you did is you had three choices. You could either go local, you could go regional, or you could go national. I know that the fourth one was world, because all four of those sections used to be in what we got printed daily in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep,
journalism went
exactly.
away.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
so that-
Well, let's go back. Go ahead, Scott.
No, but that's what you're looking at. Again, we have a lot of different things that we're doing. And as I continue to rebrand, and I'm going to more local chamber events and trying to find needles in a haystack. And don't get me wrong, that with Steve Ballesteri and I on, we can come up with some pretty good sports topics too. We're trying to get Bob Sochi right now. We're working on with the New England Patriots, the broadcaster that does a play-by-play for him, and Steve's good friends with him. So this is one of our Steve Ballesteri. Just so you know, we'll be writing the foreword for my second book, Lessons from the Microphone. He's going to be on there writing the foreword. George Acorn did it before. Steve and I. Steve's going to do it for me this next time around. Go ahead, Candy.
You guys got a place to stay in Lexington. You guys should go. But
I know. Earl says we got a place to stay, and he's one of the best cooks. Man.
And you know,
it's a win-win.
Really, you're in Lexington? I drive up I-75 to go up there. I got to. If you're in Lexington, we got to have a
halfway point,
Earl.
Scott. Hey, Scott, that's the halfway point to Flint.
It's what?
Yep, it is.
Lexington is the halfway point to Flint.
My sister used to live in Lexington.
I covered a game at Rupp. I covered an FAU game many years ago at with FAU in Kentucky, and I was working with my coach Mike Jarvis, who's a good friend of mine. If those are people that follow college basketball, realize I want
How do I
Mike
know
Jarvis.
that name?
Huh?
I should know that name.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better coaches in college basketball history. And I have Coach Jarvis's number. We stay in touch from time to time. I got to get to. We've been wanting to get together soon, but Coach Mike Jarvis is a coach to me. He's a mentor of sorts.
Of course, we're talking 35 years ago, so I don't know the exact name of the highway that heads south out of Lexington towards Winchester. And I'm not talking about the expressway, the highway, that 2-lane road. If you head south and you went out of town about 3 miles, you would come to Combsbury Road. You would take a right. About halfway down, you would see a small farm with a little ranch house on it, single-story ranch style house. That's where I used to live.
No kidding. Well, Candy and I once stayed in a hotel out there, and when you went in, there was all horses, that's for sure. And then when you go to your room, they had a different name for every room. It was pretty cool stuff. It really was. I haven't really thought about going to the Kentucky Derby yet, but you know, I mean, you never know.
Check your drawers, dude. Check your drawers.
Yeah.
Brown recluse.
I've been to Louisville. I like Louisville. I've never been to Lexington.
Lexington is actually way prettier than Louisville.
Look, I went.
Oh, yeah.
I rode by Churchill. I went to the Louisville bat store. I got to hold ancient bats in my hand, and I was like in my glory. All right.
Oh yeah, I've been
I
to
saw the
Louisville
bats
Dodgers.
where the Cincinnati Reds AA team is.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of frog legs were good.
My only claim to fame, and the closest that I got to the NFL, other than being at the draft with Scott and Candy, was back when the Titans first moved to Nashville as the Oilers.
Right.
And that was one of the last years I remember walk-on tryouts, and I said, what the hell, I'm going to go.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's amazing how you say that, Adam. I visited Muhammad Ali's grave over in Louisville, as well as Colonel Sanders' grave. It was pretty interesting. And I have history with Muhammad Ali many years ago when I interviewed him down here in South Florida. So
That's awesome.
Lexington, Muhammad Ali was just unbelievable. And my good friend was Angelo Dundee as trainer, so it was pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so I had once I got Dundee and I became friends, I would interview Sugar Ray Leonard. I would always get the inside phone call. That's who's there. All right, I'll be down there, and It was, I think it was Allen Park Gym in North Miami, and it was like 15, 20 minutes from where I was working. I always get the inside stuff, but yeah, Rupp Arena. If you're out in Lexington, you got to see a game there. You really do. I mean, it's a bucket list, and I've been to Pauley Pavilion as well. So. But Rupp Arena, and I got to interview many years. Huh?
I rode by it. We didn't go in.
Funny, I interviewed John Wooden back in many years ago when I was at Pauley Pavilion. So.
John Wooden, wow.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing, Adam. If you ever get a chance to get my book, because Baldrick is in it, then he has some pretty good stories out there.
Yeah, I got to get.
Imagine that. I have it open to the right page. 155.
Yeah, he's in it.
All right, you little ass kisser.
Yeah, right. Adam, hey, play your cards right with me, Adam. You might end up in one before long. He said the acknowledgement for.
Oh, I know where Man of War is. Man of War is the big. Yep.
Man of War is the main thoroughfare in Lexington, and Boston is that road that is just next to the one that heads south by where my place was.
Nice.
Rupp Arena is unbelievable, Earl. It is. If you're up in Lexington, it's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when I catch up with you there.
And then when I lived in Tennessee, I got to go see the Columbia Mules, that AA affiliate.
Yeah. See, Kane, I don't know if you like having me on your show. I'll bet I turned your show upside down, don't I?
It's the
you just take change of pace. It's a change of pace. That's what it is.
What's that?
Exactly.
It's a good change of pace.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Adam. I'll tell you, Adam. You're there. You go. You're my type of person, brother. I appreciate those kind words.
But all of us are supposed to be experienced enough as podcasters to just say, okay, this is the way it's going to go. So we just revamp the show.
We just go with the flow.
Fly.
That's
yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm turning this one upside down. And it's your country club, and I'm just throwing all this stuff at you guys. I never realized anyway.
Well, you're the real commander in chief. We just follow.
Oh no, you guys are equal teammates. Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
So, what is our most surprising cut that happened just before free agency started? Which one was the one that took you by surprise?
Surprising.
I'm curious to see what Cam Hayward's reaction was tonight when Connor Hayward got signed by the Raiders 2 hours ago.
In regards to surprising, usually there is a couple surprising cuts each year. This year,
you got a question, Samir.
How do I feel about Tua as a dirty bird? I don't like the concept of Tua in Atlanta, I think, for a couple of reasons. I was doing some research on his stats. Keep in mind, he had Mike McDaniel as a play caller. Mike McDaniel is one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. This past season, Tua, when you look at his touchdown interception ratio, his passing yards, his completion percentage, and you compare it to Desmond Ridder in 2023, his touchdown interception ratio was almost identical. He did have more passing yards, slightly, and he had a slightly higher completion percentage. Yeah. But I do like signing him for a vet minimum, $1.3 million. It does seem like there's going to be a competition there whenever Michael Penix is healthy. I do think Michael Penix should be able to beat him out. But I just don't like the concept of, okay, we already have one quarterback who has had a concerning history with injuries and whatnot. Why are we bringing in another quarterback who's got injury concerns as well? But,
yeah, that's I think that's exactly what he's referring to, Earl. How close is he to CTE? Because we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's unfortunate for him because we saw what he was in 22, 23, especially 23 when he led the league in passing yards, Pro Bowler, and he was quarterback of the best offense in the league, but I just feel like the injuries have unfortunately caught up with him. But look, if he's going to be Michael Penix's backup, and this year we're going to find out what Michael Penix is and what we need to do in 27, I'm fine with him as a backup then with that number. Like when we signed him, it was like, okay, whatever. He's likely going to be a backup. So
Is Kyle
We'll
Pitts
see.
still on the
Since
Falcons?
we're talking, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
Is Kyle Pitts still on the Falcons?
yeah, he has been franchise tagged.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's right.
My question is, who they got rid of Mooney? So who's going to be your number 2? Who's going to be Bijan's side?
Yeah,
Light or
so-
Thunder? Because Algier was a good mix
What?
into this mess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna
what
say-
kind of feelings do you guys got?
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we couldn't bring Tyler back. I know Tyler. I thought he was going to get paid more than $6 million 2 years. It seemed like, from what I know, Tyler wanted to be a lead back, and that unfortunately wasn't going to happen here.
He's not even going to be a lead back out in Arizona. This is why this is confusing me.
I mean, he should be. He's better than James Conner.
Trey Benson.
Yeah, he's better than Trey Benson.
We'll see, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But with that being said, they did sign Jahan Dotson to a 2-year deal around $9 or $10 million each year. And they did bring back Olamide Zaccheaus, who was with the Bears last year, Commanders before that, and Eagles before that. He was one of Matt Ryan's teammates in 1921, and they did bring back Austin Hooper. So Jake Matthews is no longer the lone member of that Super Bowl team anymore. But with that being said, I do think we are definitely going to add a wide receiver in the second or third round. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this class. You've got Zachariah Branch, who might be in that area, Jeremy Bernard, KC Conception, and I'm looking at one more. Who is it? You have
Jacoby
Chris
Lane.
Brazzell from Tennessee, and then you have Ted Hurst here at Georgia State. So there's going to be some wide receiver talent there. I think we'll add there, and I think we are going to add a running back in the late rounds in the draft, maybe in the 6th or 5th, or they might go and try and sign one. I know Kevin Stefanski did coach Nick Chubb for a while in Cleveland. That might be a cheap option there. Sean Tucker, he is a restricted free agent with the Bucks. He had 9 touchdowns, over 4 yards a carry. He was been the third back.
feeling.
Wow, he was stuck behind Bucky Irving and Rashad White, and then when Bucky Irving got hurt, he got to play a lot and made the most of it. So if we can give him an offer that I don't know if the Bucks could match, maybe $3 or $4 million, I think he would be a good backup running back there.
How excited were you whenever Mike Evans went out of your division?
I was glad. He killed us for years. For years. But we've got Tedero McMillan in Carolina to deal with now. So
I can only imagine.
And
What
Matt
other move
Diabuca.
surprised you guys? Adam, what move surprised you?
The Michael Pittman move. That surprised me. Like, I knew we needed a number 2, but Pittsburgh's always been what? Draft.
Mhm.
So Omar Khan's taken this to a different level lately, and he's been able to snag some free agents. I like the Rico Dowdle signing as well. Warren and Dowdle, this should be a good combo. And I want to see Will Howard. I want to see what he can do with this offense. I don't want to bring back that guy.
Adam, I just sent you a photo you have to see. It's about USA baseball.
Adam, there is a quarterback that just became on the market as of yesterday. 37 years old, threw for 500 yards in the game a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
I couldn't help it. I had to send that to you.
I had to put it out there.
That was a great play by Bobby Witt. I don't care. That was a great play by Bobby Witt.
I'll take that as a no.
No,
I want to see Will Howard. I mean, obviously, if you could bring him in for a backup role and let him know that he's going to be a backup to serve and teach, then bring him in. That's just me.
Scott, what move has surprised you in the free agency?
I'm going to go a really interesting direction. Here's the thing that really surprises me. Why the Detroit Lions can keep chopping away at cutting Taylor Decker's salary when they should have just paid the darn guy. I mean, I don't know. Again, I'm just giving you my opinion. I'm not as close to it as you are, Jeremy. But this is free agency. Okay, everybody's looking. The roster turnovers here. Again, unless there's something to do with injuries, history, or whatever, and that's why they decided to do it. I get it.
Okay. So he has been
let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. She's asking me, and I'm going to tell you. Obviously, you would love to see a guy start and finish his entire career with them since he's been with them for a while. I get what you're saying. Injury history may have played into it. I don't know if the upgrades are better than the holdovers or would have been holdovers. I follow it, but I have to follow things nationally, Jeremy. I don't follow the locals as much as I'd like to anymore. But to me, he's still a core player. But again, I don't know about the injury history. So that to me, the Lions, to me, you just see if they're going to continue to spend money to keep some of their better players. They have a lot of them. So I'll be curious to see how this plays out.
So,
Cammy, you better pin Michael's comment there. You know, he's saying he's going to shave his head if Decker signs for over $2.3 million.
well, guess what? I've seen Michael Edwards. It's not going to take long. But anyways, the Decker situation.
Yeah.
Number one, if you listen to what he said after the last game, how he felt like the old warrior that was ready to retire and go home to his family after battling. So we already dealt with this with Frank Ragnow. And both of them have an inoperable problem that causes them issues. His is his shoulder. Frank Ragnow was his foot. So he goes and he says, I don't know if I'm going to come back. And then just before the end of February, he goes, I'm coming back.
All right.
So they said he was due over $20 million this year as a tackle. He didn't play at a $20 million tackles level the last 2 seasons. He's given up more sacks, more pressures. So he asked for an extension. So they said, yes, we'll give you the extension, but you have to restructure to clear cap room because we're over the cap. We have to be cap compliant by March 13th. They wanted longer before they had to restructure Goff is what it was all coming down to. Okay. And they were trying to cut him down. And a restructure does not technically mean a pay cut. You get the money turned into bonus, and it's given up front instead of in each game check.
Well, yeah, you rob Peter to pay Paul, basically.
Right. So he was still getting the same amount of money, but he made it sound like they were asking him to take a pay cut.
Okay. That's why I'm asking for clarification.
So when he declined it, they said, okay, fine. It saves money to get rid of you then.
Okay.
And it comes down to the business decision end of it. You're not playing to the level that you were when you earned that contract because you're paid by your past history. Now your past 2 seasons, you're not playing at that level anymore. You don't deserve that much pay.
Okay.
For the season.
Fair. All right. Fair enough to me. I mean, again, you follow it more than I do. All I do is get table scraps and make sure I got enough of them.
I hate it because I wanted him to retire a Lion. Right. I was hoping that that's what he was doing because for me, that would have saved more money in the long run and saved a lot of heartache and a lot of this animosity that was put out through social media, through the press, because the press is so opinion-based anymore. You don't know which one's actually telling the truth.
So here's what I have to deal with week in and week out, okay? I have to focus on 32 teams, okay, and college teams. I do. I've got the Miami Hurricanes. I have Florida Atlantic. Okay. I have contacts with the Michigan Wolverines. Part of what I'm going to do, all right, so let me go ahead and make an announcement here with you guys, obviously, here on the national side, too. One of the things I've decided to do, and I want everybody on this panel to pay attention. If you have any questions, please let me know. Nothing's happening to the network. This is a personal decision by me to do 70% non-sports and 30% sports. That doesn't mean that I will not do podcasts tonight related to sports, as Jeremy alluded to the current event part on Wednesday, and then the nonprofit is something I'm doing to add to it. Why am I doing this? Okay. when you feel like you've done everything in this industry that you can. A lot of the PR people these days are just not as good as a lot of my friends that have walked away from the industry. You want to be able to rebrand yourself, say, I've done everything I can do. It doesn't mean I won't do other stuff and in sports. I never said that, okay?
Right.
But when you look at people like Bryant Gumbel, for example, who's gone into the Today Show as well as his NFL bracket, and the list goes on and on. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find Michelle Tafoya walked away from a good job with NBC to try to run for a political thing. And I'm not talking political. I'm just talking about different things. There comes a point in your life where you have to feel good about what you've done and you want to rebrand yourself and challenge yourself to new things. And that's what I'm in the process of currently doing myself. Again, this is not the network. That's why I'm doing different things. Like when I was doing things, Sports Exchange, and that's going out there and using non-sports topics, I was kind of getting the itch to do it. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, a week ago, 10 days ago, we need to do this. So I'm combining the Motor City Mad Mouth in addition to the South Florida Tribune. The Motor City Mad Mouth will be where a lot of my one-on-one interviews go. In addition to those opportunities, and top of what I'm going to do as I continue to write and to the conclusion that I've drawn. Michael Edwards, you're an awesome brother. I would love to be able to go out there and see you up here on my show so I could tell you you're awesome on a lot of them as well. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. But please be a contributor in all chat rooms, because there's one word that describes you, Michael Edwards, class, CLASS, exclamation point. And that's that. So that's what I'm in the process of doing.
Are you on Facebook?
Pardon me? Yeah, I am.
I have a guy that I'll tell you afterwards, but I have a guy that would maybe come on with you and talk about events, like because every day on Facebook he posts something like what happened on this day in 1942, 1885, and he podcasts too. I know he does. He did my car loan, and we started talking about, I guess, kind of like what you were talking about. And he's like, follow me on Facebook. I do all kind of questions every day, try and answer them.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Earl Kinsey says it best on the channel. That's growing my portfolio. Earl, that's exactly what I'm doing. I am.
Kind of like what I'm doing with my show, expanding to other sports.
Well,
it's
that's
the same thing.
That's what you were coached to do when I took you under my wing to begin with. Now you've begun the process where you're able to do it. I didn't say you had to start it right away. You established your niche on the gridiron, and now you've taken your experience over time as your brand grows, and you're doing it. That's all that matters. Jeremy, it's not about when you do it. Initially told us about when you do it. It's all about timing. Yeah, and Adam, feel free to stay on afterwards, or if we're friends on Facebook, whatever, I'll be more than happy. And Adam, I'd like to bring on a show mine or two at some point if you're ever interested in coming on.
I'm always interested in coming on. That's not the problem. The problem is, do I have time?
Oh no, I get that. You have an open ticket anytime you want Adam to come on my shows as well. But yeah, I mean, because I'm too long-winded.
I wanted to talk about. I wanted to remember Tom, and then I was gonna say something else too. What about like Lanny Fratteri? Have you ever had him on, or ever talked to him, Scott?
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to him?
Who?
Lanny Fratteri. He was the Pirates Keller guy from '74 all the way to 2009.
Who's this guy?
Lanny Fratteri, the Pirates announcer.
No, I haven't talked to him before.
He's a good guy.
Well, yeah, line me up. I'd love to have him on there. Absolutely.
I'd love to have him on again too. Don't worry.
That's okay. Well, whatever. Anything you want to do, contacts. I'll be more than happy. We'll see. We'll make it work. But yeah, Jeremy, more power to you. You know, you're rebranding. You're doing a good job. Samir, you got nothing but potential. You're gonna do whatever the hell you want anyway, because your potential is off the charts. And I see what you're doing, Adam. And me, I'm just out there. See, one of the reasons behind that too is I've been in the business 47 years. And my goal is to stay in the business until I've been in at 50. I'm 3 years away from pulling this off. And I needed something different to help me get to the finish line.
Amen.
Just don't get sucked into politics, Scott. Keep it as open But oh, that's what I was going to say. Like you could bring, you never know, you might bring more people into your sports world that never even knew you did sports because they caught your political side, or
Well,
your topic show, whatever we'll call it.
well,
Topic show.
well, here's the thing. Jeremy hit the nail on the head. It is about current events. Let's not make sure that we misunderstand politics versus current events. You may be talking about political people, but we're talking about what's going on overseas with the Iran situation. And I've always said they've been a pest to us anyways. So our current president has had enough. And if anybody were to watch that show, and Steve Ballesteri is the right guy to do it, he's been in the military and all this stuff. He makes things, brings things to light a little bit. No, I don't care about politics. Although I have to admit to you, I've interviewed Jennifer Granholm of Michigan many years ago, Governor Bob Graham, and who else did I interview? There's another governor that Bob Graham, Jennifer Granholm are the two. But I do have a desire, though, I won't kid you, to go ahead and talk to Ron DeSantis and only ask him about capital punishment because Florida does do it, and he's trying to clean out death row. I don't care about the other stuff because there's certain issues that people, are curious about. So I will say that is a goal I'd like to get to him. When and if I can pull it off, that's another situation. I don't know.
I'd like to try and understand the Disney situation a lot better.
What's that?
I don't want to understand it at all.
What's that?
The Disney situation down there.
Disney?
Yeah. That sounds like a fate for like a.
I'm not smart enough to understand that one, but again, Jeremy nailed it. It's all about current events. But there'll be a lot of sports stuff on that show too, though. Steve and I aren't getting away from what we're doing. It's just we're trying to expand on what we're doing.
Right, but I mean, like I was just going for the crossover thing, kind of like when the NFL brought in that blonde, and all of a sudden a lot of her followers came into the NFL and picked up on it a lot more.
Right. Well, I agree.
Earl, I want to thank you for your service. He says he had a great military career. Thank you.
Adam, I think the whole thing I'm trying to do is we'll keep sports on the Motor City Mad Mouse show if a good guest comes on. You follow me? Because Steve has contacts in the New England area, and we're some things that we'll do. And it's the only time he comes on with me. So it's about making sure that show is not about one thing. It's more of a show where you can go lots of different ways depending on what comes into your path during a given week. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I mean, that was a lot of fun in Boston doing the Paul Revere walk. You follow the trail. I had a lot of fun doing that.
So we do have a little bit of sports news coming out of Atlanta tonight. David Pollock announced that his wife is cancer-free.
I saw that.
Very nice.
That's good news out of the retired sports world. You know what I mean? We're so used to hearing the bad. And speaking of the bad today, Bryce Huff, a Super Bowl champion defensive end with the Philadelphia Eagles, and was with the last with the San Francisco 49ers, announced that he's retiring from the NFL.
I saw that.
He said it's for his health and for the longevity of his time with his family. I'm not saying it's CTE because I know he did have one or two concussions in his career.
I mean,
Marcus is on my channel, guys, so I didn't know.
He invited me to do the bracket fill out party.
All right, I didn't know
he's talking about me. I'll be there, but I normally don't do any podcasts on Sunday, so he should feel blessed that I'm going to show up.
Is this at 8:00 or what?
I have no idea. I don't care.
One last nugget I do want to mention about my show, the Motor City Mad Mouse Show. There's two layers of it. You have the remote side. You follow me, Adam? Okay, where I'm interviewing people, and it is all sports. At least it has been up to this point, unless something comes along. And of course, there is some sports on the weeknight version, the live version, as well as non. It's a culmination of both, is what it is. But most of what you're going to see when I get my interviews, one-on-ones are all, I would say 90, 95% are sports, and that's how I built it. So there's a lot there. Unless I go on a trip and then we have travel. Okay, then I'm putting all my videos on there and interviewing people you never even heard of. And those stories are called human interest stories.
So I know I didn't put this out on as topics, but guys, what did you feel? What did you think about Bam's 83-point
It's a fraud.
game?
That's crazy.
If the Washington Wizards wasn't such a terrible team in committing 40 enough fouls where he had 43 free shots to make 36 of them, he wouldn't have 83 points.
Bingo. It's a fraud. I read something that Doris Burke said about it, who questioned the validity of that record because of those fouls. And, I'm not going to question the record for the most part. But this is one of those you have to really wonder about a little bit. You really do.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, my thing is
he got
you can't fault him
43
for shooting free throws because, I mean, they're fouling him. He's drawing fouls. But I just don't know if it would have the same significance as Kobe scoring 81.
And the difference is Toronto was a good team that year and was on their way to the playoffs in the East when Kobe played them and dropped 81, whereas Washington is on their way possibly to a number one pick overall.
But I mean, that being said, 83 points is 83 points. That's
yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from the points total. Amazing job. You scored it. But take away that 36 because guess what? Kobe only got to score 10 points of his off of free throws.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that right? 10 points? That's all he
Yeah,
had.
He was fouled 6 times and made 10 of them.
So if he would have made all those bunnies, he would have had 88 points plus 1. So he could have had. He could have
had a 90-point game.
Made them.
If he wouldn't have missed any shots and made all of his free throws, he'd have had 102 points and broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. And then that's impressive.
Well, Earl, you're 100% right. They don't play. Hey, Earl, you're 100% right. They don't play defense. The league is going down. It's unwatchable. I had the Sports Exchange last night, and a couple of my panelists really didn't want to talk about it. They didn't know much about it. I had to really I had to run an audible on the Sports Exchange last night to get these topics that we could get in there and phase off of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Because of what he said. So
3 teams play defense in the current NBA.
Right.
One of them's the Pistons. The other one is the San Antonio Spurs. And the other one is the Oklahoma City Thunder. All you have to do is look at the rebounds, the blocks, and turnovers that those teams force. And that tells you who actually plays defense and who plays it within the rules of the game today. Because the defense that's played now is actually more technical than what it was back then. Because basically, when Wilt Chamberlain played, you could clothesline a guy while they went to the hoop.
Even Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy.
Yeah, just ask Bill Lambier how much he liked slamming Jordan to the floor.
I was going there. Okay, Jeremy. I covered the bad boys. I know what defense is like.
It's not even entertainment. It's not even entertainment. It's hard to
I mean,
watch.
the style of play just isn't like it's not. I would say like outside of watching the Hawks, it's not like I'm not tempted to sit down and watch a regular season NBA game. And I feel like the style of play is the same. Everyone shoots threes. Like even the big men now shoot threes. I mean, you blow on someone, they call a foul. I mean,
but yeah, have you ever done a show where the majority of your key analysts don't know much about pro basketball? They probably don't care. Then you have to change it right in the middle of it just to keep it credible. That's the first time for me, but I'll tell you the people that did and let me know, which is okay. The show went okay, but now I know what they're able to do, what they want to talk about, so it's easy to make adjustments going forward. But no, I mean, everybody on this panel is right about the NBA. 3 teams play it, and nobody's watching it. I mean, Kobe Bryant gets 20 free throws. He's at 100, not 80. What was it? 81? I don't even know what. Yeah,
81.
What is the least watched publicly known sport in America? Do you know what it is?
What?
When you talk about the Nielsen ratings, it's golf.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what's funny? The Masters still have higher ratings than the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah,
That doesn't
I was gonna say the Masters
the
is
All-Star game too isn't what it used to be. Well, and I think for a multitude of reasons. Number one, the quality. I would say the three of the dunk contest. You compare the dunk contest to like 10 years ago to
Oh,
now. It's not even the same anymore.
the
And
last
then
time it was good was when Nate Robertson with that dunk, as short as he is, and how he dunked it over a guy. That was
Spud
the
Webb.
last. Yeah,
and
that
then
was the Spud Webb
2016,
of the
yeah,
2000s, is what I'm getting at, because he was so short.
And
That
then
was the last time it was exciting.
And then for me, you have to consider how all-star voting works. You've got the fan vote, but then you've got the coaches and media vote. So then you could have a player win the fan vote, be first in his position in the in whatever conference for fan vote, but still not make the all-star game because the coaches might have a problem with him, or he didn't get along with this coach. So now the coaches are a fraternity. Now the other coaches are going to, side with that coach and not put him in the All-Star game.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
that
relationships and who you know.
That progression that he put there, Michael Edwards, when he did that on that comment, wouldn't WCLA or UCLA, Bird, Magic, and Jordan, LeBron now? That's my problem. LeBron is one of the best dunkers in game you've ever watched when he's not flopping. Yet he will not perform in the dunk contest. As good as he is, and as much athleticism, and how it's talked that he can float from as far away as Jordan did, we've never seen it, but that's what's said. He has yet to ever be in the dunk contest. And I'll tell you what, Jordan never declined it until he couldn't do it.
Well, you want to bring on James in this conversation, Ballrick? You really opened it up for me here, and I'll say this from my experience covering this sport for a lot of years too. You stick LeBron James back in the day where defense meant something, and I can tell you right now, he's not an all-time scorer. I just don't believe it. I think he'd get hammered. He'd have a lot more time on the floor, and all those what do you call clothesline shots. LeBron James would be like spaghetti noodles when the old time.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman too. Was a good friend of mine
James Buddha.
Yeah,
I'm not going to disagree with that sentiment because
Larry Bird.
There was no one during that period of his, I would say, athletic ability that could keep up with him. On an athletic ability scale, the players back then were not as good as from that point on as LeBron James. They would not be able to.
No way. I'm not buying that at all. Sorry.
LeBron James played in an area where he couldn't be hand checked.
Wait. Ballrick, let me finish. This guy just went out there and opened up something. Now you got the old man versus the young pup here in this situation. Number one, I covered that bad boys team. And I'll tell you, if you want to be on the wrong end of a Bill Laimbeer elbow, and if that isn't good enough, you got Rick Mahorn back there, no way. You want CTE, drive in the middle of the paint, and they'll give it to you real quick. I'm just telling you, Samir, I get it.
Shit out of against Detroit every time.
Yeah, they did.
6'9", 250, 260.
Did you know what? How old? Ask Magic Johnson, who was a 6'8" point guard, how he liked playing against the Pistons.
Thank you, Ballrick. I'm telling you, the Pistons there was like a walking headache. If you go into the paint, then I got news for you. It will dry on top of your head when you fly someplace else. You go there, it's called a no-fly zone. And all these and the rules back then were different. So sorry, Samir. Love you, man. But you're talking about a guy that's got a plaque. Hold on. I've got a plaque here on the NBA floor for the championship, and they gave it to me because I covered the team back then. And I had sat many times courtside, and I was watching how many times the guy's head got bell rung. And I'm going to tell you, LeBron James wouldn't be half as good as he is back then as he is now. I don't care what nobody says. You can disagree with me. I don't really care.
The last Eastern Conference final that Jordan lost versus the Pistons, when he left the floor, when they lost that fourth game, his mouth and his nose was bloody from Bill Laimbeer's elbows and Rodman slamming him to the ground. And I think even Even Rick Mahorn, that was just mentioned, got a hold of him a couple times. Do you know what happened that offseason? He had his biggest weight gain and worked out the most of his entire life. And all of a sudden, Dennis Rodman becomes a free agent. Where does he end up? Chicago.
Well,
What happened?
Roddy Pitt. No one wanted him except for Jordan. No one wanted him except for Jordan that year.
Well,
Right.
sure, he took a few stops for him to get there, Jeremy, before he landed in Chicago. But yeah, Jordan can thank Rodman for getting him those last 3 rings. Everybody knows that Rodman's in there because his defensive play, anyways, and his rebounding. Ever heard of Bobby Jones, one of the best all-time defenders in the game of basketball?
Dennis Rodman. I don't know if I obviously you cover him, Scott. You might know this more than I do, but
we were
from what
good
I've
friends
heard,
for a period of time.
From what I've read, like he would stop and just watch the shots from the starters during warm-up, so he knew how the ball was rotating and how it was going to end up on the rim and where it was going to bounce. I mean, and he never played basketball until he was 21.
Yeah, but you know what his nickname was, Adam, back then?
The Worm.
They called him the Worm.
He was all over the damn place.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, his name was the Worm. I mean, this guy used to pile up rebounds faster than you can imagine. I watched it with Mel too. And you know what? I got into a situation with Bill Laimbeer at the Boston Garden. Bill and I didn't like each other. I never cared about this guy. Why do you think he never got a sniff or higher? But Bill Laimbeer, it was like, 2 people that didn't quite get along, him and I. So one day, I'm walking around out the Boston Garden, the Pistons locker room, and I'm talking to Rodman. Laimbeer opens his big mouth right in front of Dennis's eye. So you know what I did? Because Dennis was right there to back me up. He always backed me up. We went bowling together. We did all kinds of crazy stuff. So I said, Bill, let me ask you a question, because now I got pissed, okay? You get me mad. I don't care if I'm in a cotton picking locker room or I don't mean nothing. Bill, just because you have enough to make your car payment doesn't mean I have enough to make mine. And you tell that to him right to his face, and Dennis said, that's when Dennis got mad. Hey, Bill, get out of here. Beat it. And Laimbeer looking at him, yeah, he left. And then I got my time in with Dennis. At that time, I suffered a torn ligament to my left ankle because I was skiing on Christmas Day. So I was limping around the Boston Garden with a cast on, and at times I had to use some crutches. But I was in a walking fiberglass cast because I got in a ski accident on Christmas Day, the same night Billy Martin was killed. And I actually covered 2 games of the Boston Garden. I had the Pistons and the Celtics, and I covered David Robinson's first appearance over at the Boston Garden. It was unbelievable. So I
mentioned MDE.
And by the way, I have a new nickname for the NBA. It's called NDL, National Drama League.
Yeah, that's the new version. It hasn't been the NBA since they took away the hand check.
No question about it. So, Candy, you got a couple videos you're getting up at some point, I hope?
I was just going to ask you if you wanted me to go to. Let's go to.
This is going to feed Ballrick and all you. Yeah, these are going to go to people like Ballrick and all those mock drafters. I still don't care about mock drafts. They don't interest me. It's a guessing game. But I'll tell you what, I got 2 hidden gems. Candy's about to play them. Go ahead, Candy.
So these are from the Senior Bowl. These are 2 interviews Scott did. The first one we're going to do is wide receiver Devin Vossen. He actually played for South Alabama, so he was in his home stadium. Let's go to the tape.
All right. Hello, everybody, and talk to you for a moment. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Motor City Man Mouse Show. My name is Scott Morganoff. Pleased to be joined by University of South Alabama wide receiver Devin Hoyson. Tell me, what's it been like for you being able to do the Senior Bowl in your own stadium?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. Like I've been telling everyone, I've been watching this Senior Bowl game in the stadium for the past 4 years. I got to see a lot of guys that sit in the same room as me come through here. So every drill we're doing, all how the process is going, how the practices ran, I've seen it for the last 4 years. And then just being in an environment that I've played in for the past, 6 years, I mean, I kind of have an unfair advantage, compared to everyone.
Well, it's funny. When I think of USA, we all think United States of America, and now we think of the University of South Alabama. How do you like the way those three letters correlate when you talk about USA and United States of America, University of South Alabama?
I mean, it's funny because sometimes, like you can see, you can be walking in the airport in California and see somebody with a USA hat on. You just it just gives you like a little thought of, maybe that's for the, the United States, but maybe it could be for South Alabama. So, I mean, it's funny, just seeing a lot of people like wearing USA stuff because, we're the same colors.
Sure, I couldn't go ahead and help not point it out to you, right? Yeah. So let's talk about what you bring to an actual NFL, UFL, or Canadian team. What is it you bring to the table that will allow you to become a good pro player?
I'm just a ball player, whether that be on offense, defense, like Richard Sherman, I'll flip sides, it doesn't really matter, or special teams. I just want to be viewed as a valuable player in the NFL. So it doesn't matter what team I go to, every other team in the NFL is going to know that I'm a valuable player to the organization.
It's pretty neat to be able to play in the Senior Bowl, in your hometown, so to speak. What's it been like being able to do it in front of people that really deeply care about you?
I mean, it means a lot. When you go to, away games, there's not a lot of people there for you, and, you feel that way. But when you're here and you have, see people on the side that old coaches, like I saw Kane Womack yesterday, I saw Coach Platoon from Mizzou today. So just seeing all the people that, helped me grow and get to this point, I mean, it's awesome.
Now that the Senior Bowl experience is over with, what's the next thing that you're going to do? You have the pro days coming up, the combine, obviously, and the draft. Take us through the progression.
Yeah, so I'll just go back to pro day training back at Exos, and then, just from there, just keep going, keep working.
All right, well, listen, I appreciate you being on the Motor City Mad Mouse Show. I look forward to hearing about you in the draft, and don't forget us down the road. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, there's your first one. Any feedback across with everybody? Thanks.
Sounds like a very good and modest young guy.
Yes. What about you, Adam?
Do they not wear the knee covers anymore?
Some do, some don't.
I don't understand that approach, but that's just me. But then again, I grew up where knee pads were, needed in sports. Very good, Scott. That was a good interview. It was quick. Might want to bring the camera up a little bit. You want to get your head and you kind of want to be more head level. Just saying.
Oh,
Yep.
You're catching candy on that one.
That's okay. That's okay.
Well,
That's okay.
probably the top of your head was cut off, and I was like, "That's not good."
Why was that just the on here, or is that totally cut off, Candy?
No, I think that's just on here. I think that because when I was moving my mouse up and down, I think it didn't show the whole screen. That's why.
Okay.
Because when I
All
went
right.
down,
I was
to
just
the
curious.
next-
I was like, why does it look like their head's cut off at the top?
Well, it's not ISIS. Don't worry about it.
Samir, your thoughts? Anything?
I'm nothing.
Okay.
You don't have nothing on that? You didn't learn nothing? Kidding.
We're going to go to the next one, okay?
Just busting your chops, Samir.
So the next one is a running back from Florida International.
And this guy, T.Y. Hilton, played at FIU once upon a time.
Okay.
And Mario Risbol coached there.
T.Y. Hilton.
Okay, let's go to this one. Let's go this.
Please be joined by FIU running back Kajan Owens. Glad to have you.
Nice to be here, sir.
And all right, let's talk about the fact. Well, number one, you have the Miami Hurricanes in your background. So, what were your thoughts about what happened with the Canes, and were you to do pretty well?
Did want them to do pretty well. Got a couple dudes I went to high school with. That's there. So happy that they was.
So, anyways, we have a lot of people obviously getting in the way. That's okay. That's part of how it always goes here with this. So, let's talk about the Senior Bowl experience. What have you been able to get out of it?
Well, it's just been a very fun experience. Just being with a lot of scouts, and a lot of guys, collabing with a lot of talent and competing. It's been a great experience.
I know T.Y. Hilton's one of the bigger alums. Has he ever reached out to you from time to time? And have you talked to him?
I haven't never met T.Y. Hilton, but he heard from the hero of it. He's a great guy.
So what do you have that you can actually bring to the table for pro scouts and the NFL?
Just being very dynamic, being able to do it all, catching out the backfield, pass pro, and just making explosive plays happen.
Do you feel that one of the biggest strengths that you have is your speed or your ability to get outside?
Yes, that is a ability. South Florida, you have to be able to run, so have pretty good speed. Yes, sir.
So, but what about your ability to catch out of the backfield?
I always just took pride in it. Used to be in the front yard with my dad. Just doing 100 catches and for every drop, just doing push-ups. So it's kind of became second nature to me.
So describe what your Senior Bowl experience has been like from the minute you came to Mobile to what you learned during the meetings. Has the questions and all that been very rigorous for you?
It's been very great. Just a wonderful experience. I'm just blessed and grateful to be here. I'm just learning different schemes and different ways of how they run plays and at the next level, and just been a wonderful experience to be a part of.
So would you say the coaches have really done a really good job?
Yes, sir. Just been very welcoming, explaining plays and concepts very good, and it's been pretty easy to understand.
So let's talk about your coaching staff at FIU. What have you learned over the last year or two from them?
I just learned a lot. Just trying to strive for excellence, and just having that next play mentality, and just going hard. Just having that grit and that dog in you.
All right, and my final question is this. You're here at the Senior Bowl,
yes,
right?
Yes,
so now, obviously, what's next ahead is you'll have your pro day
yes,
and potentially a combine,
yes,
and then the draft.
Yes,
what is your mindset like going into the next stage as you begin your dream of trying to become a National Football League player?
Just getting one day better. Just keep getting better, keep sharpening myself, and just staying prepared so I don't have to get prepared.
And one thing that just came to mind as you were answering that, just say hypothetically you don't get the call right away from the NFL, and I don't know where your draft stock is, so I'm just talking in general sense right now. But you know that the United Football League is out there for you as well, and practice squad. Are those things that you obviously think about because your main objective at your age is to get as many reps anywhere you can get them?
Whatever God has for me, whatever He blessed me to have, I'll be very grateful to have.
All right. Well, I'm very grateful that we had the opportunity to talk today, and I wish you nothing but the best in your career, young man.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you have it. Samir, any thoughts on this one?
It's pretty cool. Didn't FIU have a pretty good? Was it FIU or FAU?
No, I think FIU had a pretty good.
Yeah, didn't FIU have a pretty good running back come out a few years ago? Got drafted by the Colts, or no? Was it Devin Singletary?
Oh, that was FAU.
FAU.
Singletary came from.
I know
FAU.
it was one of those two. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no,
But that's pretty cool.
he actually came from FAU. Good question.
Yes, Earl. Great question, Scott.
That's
Thanks,
a good
Earl.
question.
What about you, Adam? What's your takeaway?
You seem very prepared for a guy that no one really heard of. So I was highly impressed by that.
Works for me. Jeremy?
Again, the kid sound poised. He had very confident in his answers, and your questions were great.
Thanks,
And-
Michael.
Was that his first interview?
So to give you an idea, at the Senior Bowl, this was after practice. They give you 10 minutes on the field with all of the players from the team, and any media person can go up to any player and start talking, and that's what this is, and that's why you saw people walking in, in front of us and everything like that. But go ahead, Scott. You can say more. I thought you did an excellent job.
No, I mean, again, it's like speed dating. You better state your case and blow. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was my other question to you, Scott. Do you have notes on all the players that were in the Senior Bowl? So in case you got the question, whoever you were prepared that way, or I mean, obviously you're a busy person, so there's no way you could have followed everyone individually and without taking notes.
That's a great question, Adam. It really is. Lots of times, if I make a decision to interview somebody, I look at their university is what they do and try to build questions around their university and what I know about college football. In the case of FIU, I knew about T.Y. Hilton. I know Mario Cristobal went out there and coached there at one point. So you kind of get an idea. Then you take the small school approach, hidden gem, you know what I mean? And then you try to have a couple of your core questions, and then you try to follow it up with suitable follow-up questions. You know what I mean? And there are times if I get a chance, I know who I'm at, I could go out there and Google it myself and I'll see something in his career, whether it's Wikipedia or whatever, just to give me a rough idea. But for example, on Wednesday night, I had Rayshawn Benny. Jeremy, you familiar with him? Out of Michigan, the inside defensive lineman. And I did my homework. Yeah, you'll be hearing more about him. But here's another guy that is a player to watch because he's a pretty tenacious pass rusher. So to answer your question, I pick and choose the interviews I want, and based on, well, I mean, this guy came from USC, a wide receiver, and if you know enough about the school and the history of where they're at, you can build your questionings around that way. And I would say it always works out when I try to make the right choices.
I wasn't sure how you pick and choose your people there. That's what that was the bottom line question I really wanted to know.
Well, did I answer it? Did I answer it?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
I try to look at the schools, to be honest with you. If I know that a school has a wide receiving history, and one of the interviews that are going to be released in the next couple of weeks is Jacoby Lane, and this guy here is a sensational wide receiver out of USC. That'll probably be an inside the pigskin in a couple of weeks. And also, I am
not trying to be the bad guy here, but this dog really got to go outside. So either I can put it on hold for me or I can punch out now.
No, we'll put you on hold. No big deal. I don't care.
All right. I'll be back.
See you soon.
Okay. Yeah. So I think what I try to do is find out where they're playing, the history, and try to build up a lot of that stuff. You know what I mean? And you just play it by ear, and then let your instincts take over in terms of what type of questions that you go ahead and ask. I mean, listen, Jeremy was with me, over at the NFL draft, and tell everybody on the panel what your experiences were with me when I snapped up Mel Owens.
Well, I just listened to what you'd said because I listened to the recording. I wasn't actually physically there when you did the interview, but you told me about it right away. So I listened to the recording from the video that Candy did. And I used that to formulate what question I was going to ask Terrion Arnold that first night of the draft.
Right. But you get the feel for what we're trying to do.
Right. You basically, if you don't learn, you might as well be dead because you should learn every day you're alive.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Samir, you're young and in the business. Obviously, you're going to interview your fair share of athletes, right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like that was helpful because this was my first year getting to cover collegiate sports. I'd covered a few NBA games before, but I really hadn't covered collegiate sports until I started covering football at Georgia Tech. And I would often, it would take me a little longer to go into press conferences and try to figure out what questions to ask because it's a different dynamic than, talking to a professional athlete, a professional coach. But, I did feel like it helped to, one thing I did more of was read articles before, because kind of like pros, they do have coaches and players have press conferences before games, and try to read on the opponent, and then do what you kind of do, take it from there regarding the school and the team.
By the way, Michael Edwards, that's another classic comment.
Just so you know, Scott,
yeah.
That was not the first time I watched the Devin Boyson interview.
Oh, yeah.
And if you actually look, my next draft profile written, there's one of the pictures I created for it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
At least you got the interview here. There you go. Look at this. Now you have some sound with it, right? With them by your
right, because I'm pretty sure you're going to clip that interview into the draft profile because that would only make sense on your channel, on your website.
I don't get involved with that stuff. You talk to her. All I do is put this stuff together and make sure it comes out right. By the way, Michael, those are nice of you. I appreciate you making those comments. Great stuff. So it's. I give you a huge thumbs up, respect for how you share your experiences. Well, it's the first time I've met you tonight, Michael, and I hope I see you around a lot on our network because I think when I meet individuals like you, Michael, it just makes it that much more fun. But yeah, I don't. Whatever you use that information, you subscribe to our channel. Candy, you deal with Candy. I don't know how to do this stuff. All I'm looking for is our next interview. That's all.
Michael,
and where I can plug this stuff.
And Michael praises me a lot for my writing, and
Yeah,
I have to give the prop. Michael in the chat.
Oh,
He
okay.
praises me a lot. This is one of my guys. He praises me a lot
Cool.
for my writings. I learned a lot from the criticism that I got of Scott over the past 4 years. I've noticed that this year he hasn't had to criticize me anywhere near as much about my writing this past season.
Well, because you've gotten better. You didn't take the
Because I
criticism.
listened.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, you don't. The only way you, which is what you're good about, is you don't take this stuff personal. You just use it as constructive criticism to get better. That's why you've been in our system for as long as you have. Remember, before you came here, you were some, you know what, someplace else, and when we brought you over here, you welcomed every opportunity that you were able to get, and as a result, you've made the most of that. Yeah, he
I
is
did
a
two
good
of them.
player.
I did a 16:9, and then I did a phone size one. So I sent both pictures with the. I'm sending both pictures right now with the draft profile that I did.
That's good. Well, like I said, now you have an interview to go with it by me, and you know what it's all about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff that we'll have on our network inside the picture. We got Diego Pavia, who's going to give us a few words. We had Garrett Nussmeier on before, and I got another kid out of Clemson, the running back. Is it Randall?
Adam Randall.
Yeah,
Adam Randall.
He was one of the
Love
first
that
ones
kid.
I got. Yeah, we ever met him?
I haven't met him. No, I'm saying I love his style of play. I love that kid
Yeah, well,
coming out in the
guess
draft as a running back.
Guess what? He'll probably be on Inside the Pigskin one day, and maybe what I'll decide to do, because of you, now that you made that comment, I'll have Candy double it up and bring it up on this network. How's that sound? And y'all look at it too. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm just trying to get through spring training right now, pal. I got more time for. I got more time, less time for spring training. I have a little bit of work to do on the NFL, but we're trying to get as much on there. What did you miss? Not a whole lot, Adam, except I'm just talking about the FIU guy and other ones. I'm going to actually bring on Adam Randall for this show when I make another guest appearance pretty soon, and then you guys can formulate your opinion. I'll probably even use some of these interviews on Inside the Pigskin and here on Fire Up, so you all can talk about it. And Diego Pavio, I also got some questions in with him. Maybe we'll go ahead and bring that one on as well. I had Garrett Nussmeier, but we'll focus on Pavia. He's probably one of the bigger question marks in the draft anyways. If you're being mentored by Johnny Manziel, you're a question mark.
So we're drinking. So we're going drinking. Is that what you're telling me?
Wait, yeah, that's a major red flag if he's being mentored by Johnny Manziel.
Exactly.
like I feel like if I was a general manager and I knew that I'd probably take him off of my draft board.
You're probably not the first one that said it. You won't be the last. But you know what I'll do when I come back in here, we bring the Pavia one on here. I'm gonna I'll let you guys and watch and look at the question. I pinned him down with Johnny Manziel. I pinned him good too.
Yeah, because I don't know if you noticed, but I don't like Diego Pavia because of that type of attitude. He has that Johnny Manziel attitude about him.
Well, good. Then you're going to hear that. And maybe when I come back on next week, I'll come on a couple of these shows, especially as we get closer to the draft. I want to get these videos in there. We'll put Avian, and then the Randall kid will be a couple targets that we'll be looking at. But you got two hidden gems. Yeah, I think the thing, especially you, Baldrick, because obviously you do put so much emphasis in the draft. But these two kids that you saw today, I think could be hidden gems. And that's why I brought them on tonight.
I have to ask, have you read many of the draft profiles that I put up yet?
Yeah, I have looked at them a little. I haven't been on Twitter much, but every time I get them, I put them on there.
I know. What I wanted to ask is if you thought they were pretty good and in-depth enough.
Give me a break compared to what I used to get out of you. Anything was better than what you put out there. Yeah. You're asking me for a before and after question, and I just gave you.
No, I'm saying this year I want I want to know your honest opinion of how they look this year.
So-
Well, they look a lot better. I'll give you my honest opinion. I'm out there putting together content for like 7, 8, 10 different shows, and I'm trying to go to events and go everywhere. I'm spread out a little bit, so I can't tell you I'll memorize these things, but I know the people you're looking at. And when I do get on Twitter once every 10 days, for God's sake, I'll put some stuff up. But the good news is in April, I'll do a little Twitter, but my right-hand man, Steve, is going to be helping me on that account, getting on there and keeping us more active. I don't have time. I'm too busy working on 10, 12 shows. You think I'm worried? I mean, I love the Twitter interaction. Don't get me wrong. I just haven't had time.
Okay, guys, I'm going to reel us back in. We've been going a while. My town, Adam. What's happening in your town?
Steelers. Like we already talked about, Dado Pittman. Just signed a safety. We took a guy off the Bears today, Jeremy. I don't know much about him though. Brisker.
Oh, you got a good safety. I'm sorry. He's a very good safety. Oh, Samir just dropped out like a wow.
He looked like he was wearing down.
Could be, yeah.
Brisker is a very good safety. You should be.
I didn't know anything about him. We were talking about him a little bit in the text with my buddies, and I was like, I don't know much about him, but I'll be with the Bears guy, and on Tuesdays, and Samir back.
There he is. He's alive.
I don't know what happened.
Neither do I. You were talking all of a sudden.
I was
like, man, he dropped quick.
That was weird. I don't know what just happened.
But Brisker is a very good safety.
Yeah, that was a good pickup for the Steelers.
So Penguins get Crosby back here soon. It might even be tonight. I'm not sure. They're playing live in Vegas right now. So, but they are in second place with a game in hand. And Pirates, trying to get excited. I'm trying not to get too overexcited because, like I said, I think Cincinnati and Chicago. I think it's going to go. I haven't really broke it down yet, but I think it's either going to go Cincinnati, Chicago, then Pittsburgh. Candy, I have no hope in your Brewers this year.
It's okay. You don't have to have hope. I do, so that's okay.
Sidney Crosby is still on the injured reserve as of tonight.
Okay. So I know they were trying to make room for him, but they weren't sure.
Samir.
Wait, which jersey are you digging, dude? I mean, I don't even
Probably
know.
The one you're wearing.
It's just a sweatshirt.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So the Braves can't stop getting injured. Joey Wentz, another pitcher, is our third pitcher who's gone down with a long-term injury. Torn ACL covering first base a few days ago in a game, one of their spring training games. He's going to miss the entire season.
You guys have the worst luck, Samir.
Like I don't know what we sacrificed for 2021, but yeah, we sacrificed everything for 2021. I'm convinced. So, but with that being said, the Hawks did win their 8th straight game. It's their longest win streak since 2021. They beat the Brooklyn Nets. Zachary Ricochet, 19 points, 9 rebounds off the bench. One of his better games this year. Falcons, I've covered a bunch of the free agent signings, especially Tua. They did sign Samson Ebukam today from the Colts. He had 9.5 sacks in 2023. A torn Achilles, unfortunately. In 24, 25 had about 3.5 sacks. So it's a 1-year deal. They're still in the market for another running back, another wide receiver. They did finalize the release of Kirk Cousins. So at long last, the Kirk Cousins saga is finally over. And that's it for my town.
Earl, I don't even know how many jerseys I have. I have a whole closet out there. I have this sweatshirt for the Steelers. I have the Army sweatshirt, on-field Army sweatshirt. And then my sister was in Ireland for the game, and she brought me back a zip-up hoodie from Ireland with the Steelers logo on it.
Nice. Scott, what's happening in your town?
All right, well, I'll tell you what, I said a lot tonight, I think, a lot, but I'm going to stick to the state of Florida. Last weekend, I had an opportunity to go out there and interview Josh Hader and Joe Espada, one of the nicest guys you can ever meet. He even commented on my Motor City Manmouth hat. That's pretty cool stuff. And if that wasn't good enough, we made a commuted trip up to Fort Myers, and the Twins PR people are really fantastic to work with. Ended up snapping up Cody Clemens as well as Eric Wagaman. And I'm looking forward to returning to the Twin Cities, and really what's in my town, I'm looking to do some more spring training work in the state of Florida, TBD. I'll go out there, and if I find any good baseball stuff on, I'll pop on there and share that with you guys too. How does that sound? But it's been, as far as I'm concerned, being with all y'all tonight has been an awful lot of fun. It caps a very busy week, and to see Jeremy again, Adam and Samira, like I say, you're a rising star anyways. And Candy, in her own true way, formed the way she's developed the show. It's really a privilege just to sit in and let somebody else direct traffic, even though I felt like Lloyd B. Free, the guy that was hogging the basketball many years ago. If anybody, who knows if anybody remembers him anyways, but just wanted to get some of this stuff out there, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do it. And those interviews, hopefully, Jeremy, I hope some of those will benefit your draft coverage. So,
oh, yeah, 100%.
Sometimes you just need a show where it's good talk.
Right.
Like it just goes everywhere, but it still comes back to focus eventually.
Mm-hmm. And well, just to give you a preview for next edition of Fire Up, I will be back on again, and we're going to try to come up with a couple more interviews, Ballard. So get ready to pile a little bit of knowledge in that brain of yours, okay? Thanks, Earl, for all the kind things that you said. I'll have a couple people I want to get out there, TBD on the individuals that we bring on. Although my gut feeling is telling us that we're going to probably go with Diego Pavia, since everybody wants to hear about Johnny Manziel. I'll definitely go out there and make sure we get that sound clip on there for sure. So I don't know who the second person is. Give me a chance to go out there and evaluate that. All right.
How about Haynes King?
Who?
Another quarterback, Haynes King.
No, but you know who I did get now that you brought it up? I got Cole Payton.
Okay.
And also, I should tell, since you're a Hawks guy, right? Steve Holman Sr. He was actually he was actually on the Motor City Madhouse show with me, and we had a pretty good time for like 45 minutes to an hour on my show. So there you go. There's a big basketball. I ended up meeting him in the National Sports Media Association, and Steve was nice to come on my show, and we had a good time. So it was really great stuff. I have his number. We stay in touch. But Cole Payton, now that you brought it up, I did get him.
Okay, Jeremy.
Candy is trying to get to the end of this show. I love it.
Yeah, I am too.
Jeremy.
In our town, we all know that David Montgomery is now a Texan. We got Juice Scruggs at a $1.58 million for the last year of his rookie contract as depth for our guard position. We signed Cade Mays, the center that I said would more than likely be a Lion because we'd be able to afford him, and at a 3-year, $25 million deal for a starting center is dirt cheap in the NFL. Then we signed a few guys back. Malcolm Rodriguez, Rock Ya-Sin. And lo and behold, my guy out of Canton, the guy that I've talked about ever since he was a UDFA picked up by the Lions, Trevor Nowoski was re-signed today. The guy I call the Can't Cockroach because he gets cut and comes back to the practice squad finally is signed to the active roster in the offseason in Tom Kennedy. And lo and behold, we brought back Teddy Bridgewater, the guy also known as Teddy Two Gloves, for our backup QB because Kyle Allen left for Buffalo. As far as the Tigers, I'm looking forward, and I hope to see that Kevin McGonigal is our starting shortstop and Baez is moved to center because Parker Meadows is becoming a bigger liability on offense than Baez.
I didn't think it get any worse, Jeremy.
Oh, it does.
I like Parker Meadows.
As far as
Go ahead,
Okay.
Candy.
As far as my town, I'm going to say yes. The Brewers. We're going to see how they do. The Bucks just are falling short this year. They fell to the Heat tonight. That doesn't help. But I will say the Wisconsin Badgers, they actually beat Washington, so that is in the Big Ten tournament. So they will advance to the quarterfinals.
Who do they
And
face?
I'm sorry. Who do they? I don't know if they've got that matchup yet.
The Michigan Ohio State game, that's tomorrow, ain't it?
Yeah, I think it's
Yes,
the winner of Michigan, Ohio State.
probably.
So let's pencil Michigan in. But anyway.
Hey,
Ohio State looked dominant today, though.
they play. Yeah. It says at Illinois on Friday. So is it versus Illinois? It's versus Illinois on Friday.
Okay.
Because it's before the quarter. Yeah. So at least they're ranked 23rd. Let's face it. Sunday's going to be the selection show for March Madness. That's exciting. What else is there? I mean, baseball. Scott and I are covering spring training this weekend. Looking forward to that. With that, we're gonna go around the room, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and then we're gonna sign off. Adam, start. How can people find you?
At Sports Talking It on Twitter. Obviously, I didn't go live on Twitter tonight, but I had McNally on Facebook. Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. I don't know. I'm trying to get my Facebook channel out there a little bit more than my Twitter, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah, you can get me there, and that's or if you're in my inner circle, we got phone numbers.
Amen.
How can we find you?
You can find me every here on Fire Up every Thursday night. You can find a lot of my work on the relaunch Sideline Sports and Entertainment site. I have a couple of my articles up there already, and you can find me here on Thursday nights on. Oh, I think I already said that. You can find. I'm sorry, I'm fading.
It's okay.
Okay.
You can find me on X at ATL_Samir2401. I post a lot of my content and articles there. Check them out. Thank you guys for tuning in as always.
Jeremy, how can we find you?
Well, you can find me right here on their website with the South Florida Tribune, where I write underneath the Motor City Tribune and underneath the contributors' ratings. You can also find me right here on this channel every Thursday on Fire Up with Candy as my co-host as we talk about all things sports. But it generally is football 365 days a year with splashes of baseball, basketball, hockey, tennis, Olympics, whatever.
Tennis.
We throw it in. Hey, we've done it.
I didn't recall any tennis today.
Yeah, you haven't been here for that one.
Mhm.
But on top of that, you can find me on my channel, which is the KCB Sports Network, where I am doing my NFL show on Wednesday nights, my Lions shows Monday through Friday at noon, my Lions fan cave chat, where I have other fans of the Lions join me on my podcast talking about the Lions. And then on Saturdays, you got Adam, Big Rich, and Boston Paul and I talking baseball on the Baseball Roundtable Talks.
As far as us, the South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth, who graciously gave up his time tonight to be on the show with us. Thank you, Scott. If you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. His book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also the audiobook is out there, so go grab it. There's a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. If you ever want to be a guest, if you have topic ideas or want to sponsor a show, email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. And last but not least, if you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to the channel. Please do so, and please subscribe to all the channels and support all of us. And then turn on your notifications so you're notified every time we go live. Monday nights baseball, Tuesday nights football, Wednesday and Thursday nights, you never know what you're going to get. So make sure you have that notifications turned on. Jeremy, sign us out.
Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat, and have a great weekend and enjoy your sports.
Earl,
Thanks.
if you subscribe to one of our 2 channels, me and Jeremy will be live on Saturday.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.
Thank you.